Internet, Eric here. Well, Slashback Saturday again. I've done many of these, but if you're new to the channel or the concept, what Slashback Saturday is, it's a concept created by my buddy Joe over at the Horror Man YouTube channel. And what it is every Saturday, he has a specific theme. And what you do is if you want to participate, anybody's open to participate. If you're new to this channel and you do YouTube videos, go ahead and go subscribe to his channel and participate in the Slashback Challenge. What he does is every Saturday he has a specific theme, and what you do is you find a slasher movie that fits into said theme, make a video about it. This week's category was slasher sequels, and what it is, it's super simple. Discuss a slasher movie that is a sequel. Super easy. And last week I discussed, I think what was last week was called like TV slashers, where you had to discuss a slasher movie that was made for TV. And I discussed Sometimes They Come Back, and one of my favorite. No, I think I think I said it is my favorite Stephen King TV adaptation. And perfect timing that slasher sequels came out. So I decided I'm going to discuss today Sometimes They Come Back again. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, all that stuff. I don't know what year this came out. Let's see here. IMDb says it came out in 1996, so 5 years later, I think. Anyway, the plot is, basic plot is we're following Michael Gross from Tremors and Family Ties. He has moved back into his mother's house. His mother had recently died. He's with his daughter, played by Hilary Swank. And they are just going through her personal belongings, packing up what they want to keep, donate, and all that stuff. And they are stalked, specifically his daughter, by the ghosts of the trio of teens, I guess you would say, young adults, that had killed Michael Gross's sister 30 years prior. Michael had caused the death of them. And it moves on from there. Big departure from the first one. This is basically a sequel in name only, except for one reference, and I'll get to that. Oh, this is a big change in tone of the first one. The first one was more like family oriented and getting past past trauma and just ghosts and stuff like that. This takes the family trauma and the ghosts and really turns it on its ass, because we have like demonic, satanic rituals and this and that, and it's something. We'll get to it. First off, characters. Michael Gross is fine. He is, he's the dad wanting to protect his daughter, and he's okay. He's got good chemistry with Hilary Swank. She's fine. This is early in her career. This is like post Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, not TV show. Post Next Karate Kid, but pre like Boys Don't Cry and $1 Million Baby. She's okay. She doesn't give that much to begin with, and she doesn't really do much with it. So, okay. Um, the lead, I guess I'm not gonna say greaser. He's not a greaser, but the lead killer. Hold on, let me. Is played by Alexis Arquette, and from like Bride of Chucky and so many things, the famous Arquette family. I'm going to, and I'm going to say Alexis, when I talk about Alexis, I'm going to say he in this review, because I believe Alexis was identifying as a man at this time and had not gone through the total transformation into a woman. I know he went back and forth anyways, but he did very well. For the most part, he had the charisma. He had some. He had a good job chewing up the scenery. He knew exactly what he was in. He's been in schlock before. He would go on to do Bride of Chucky. He was in like Children of the Corn 5, I think it was. He was fine. I did have a problem when he was like doing the demon stuff. They gave him some cat eyes that looked really retarded. And then they changed his voice into like a demon voice, and I personally had a hard time understanding him. But when he's being regular Tony Reno, I think his name is, he's fine. He is charismatic. He's loving when he's trying to bait Michael Gross's in the flashback scenes his sister, and you can see he is intimidating in a lot of parts. And then when he has to go pure schlock, he literally goes pure schlock. Alexis always has like that Cheshire Cat grin. It's in full effect. He is eating up the scenery, one-liners, this and that. So he does great. The material he's given with is kind of, eh. Other characters, Hilary Swank has a couple friends. You got one that's the whore. She's okay at being the whore and likable, pretty. And then you have another friend, which for some reason they make psychic, because she's into tarot cards and she can talk to spirits and this and that. She's played by the girl who plays Jan Brady in the Brady Bunch movies. She's just as horrible in this as she is in that. Didn't like her performance. Her character's okay. That's about it character wise. Well, there's a priest. He was one of the priests that's in the Needful Things movie. He's okay just being kind of scary and spooky and crazy. But so performances are either meh, over the top, or crappy. So you get what you get. The story of this is really weird because we start out with Michael Gross's mom accidentally falling off. She's washing a kitchen knife in the sink, cuts her hand. She needs to get to the band-aids that are in the cabinet. She can't reach it. Climbs up on a chair, and then the backs of band-aids moves. Spiritual forces, and she falls, hits her head on I guess it's a paperweight of a pig. So it's a Misery reference. There are some Stephen King references to other movies in this. She hits her head on a pig paperweight, dies, and that's what causes Michael Gross and them to show up. And it's really weird because they try to connect this to the first Sometimes They Come Back, because when Michael Gross talks to the crazy priest, because I guess when Michael Gross stopped Alexis in the first satanic ritual, whatever, that killed his sister, instead of running to the police right away, he ran to this priest, and the priest watched over him or some stupid shit until he moved away. And then the priest shows up at the funeral. Michael Gross pretends he doesn't know him because he's just a crazy old man. Michael goes back to him and he said there was a person that dealt with this before, Jim Norman from part 1. And that's where it gets really fucking weird, because they say Jim Norman interrupted the ritual of the 3 hoods in part 1, which was not true at all. Jim Norman and his brother Wayne were just, being bullied, and Wayne was accidentally killed by the hoods. So, no. So that was dumb. But, yeah, it's just, I don't like this whole, this storyline wouldn't be bad if it wasn't trying to connect to part 1. If it wanted to be its whole own thing, like I hate sequels and named only or direct sequels type of thing, it would have been fine. But I hate how they're trying to connect it to part 1. Michael Gross even tries to find Jim Norman, and Jim Norman has been killed by Tony, because reasons. Fuck if I know. That was dumb. But other than that, the storyline is pretty fine. It's fine as a whole. Father has to stop a satanic ritual that's going to be performed with his daughter. The gore actually is pretty good for a straight-to-video, no-budget movie. The gore is pretty decent. The makeup effects are pretty okay. The gore that I really remember is the death of the Jan Brady girl, because she's a psychic and she does tarot cards. She is kidnapped by Tony and his buddy, because remember, every person they kill, they can bring back a member of their group. And they kidnap her, and they take her and put her, it looks like they take her to the Hoover Dam. I don't fucking know. And they throw her down, and Tony walks 50 feet away, and he's got tarot cards, and of course they got satanic symbols on them in this. And he does this whole magic trick where he waves his hand and it starts to lift up and spins around, and then he shoots it at her. This is where the gore looks good and really painful. This is the best acting job Jan Brady does. It hits her in the hand because she tries to block, and it looks really good. Looks bad, as an ouch, that hurts, but it looks really good. The playing card is literally embedded deep into her hand, and the way the cuts look closing on the tarot cards, very brutal. Blood, very painful to look. she gets it in her forehead, which is kind of wincing or cringe-inducing, not because how bad it looked, but because it looks like it's fucking painful. And her performance is not bad. All she does is cry and wince and yells, "Please stop," and then eventually, he shoots all of them out and she falls down dead. But those two first initial cards, where they go in the hand and then the forehead especially, really wincing, really good effect. Um, Other than that, there's not a lot of gore, other than like when mom falls down, hits her head. They do they kill a. I mentioned Stephen King references. They have a mentally handicapped gardener, of course, the lawnmower man. He's obsessed with Speed Racer for some reason. I don't know what Job was obsessed with. Oh, Zybo Man, a comic book character. So whatever. And the mentally retarded, lawnmower guy. He's got a riding lawnmower, this and that. And Tony gets the grass to grab him and pull him down to where it's just like his head exposed, and then he runs the lawnmower to him, and in pure Alexis Arquette, chewing up the scenery, um, he literally lays down, hugs him, and then like puts his arm around him and say, "Hey, buddy, this is gonna hurt," or some stupid shit like that. Lawnmower comes, eats him up. You don't see his face get eaten up, but it's like an overhead shot of like blood shooting out, and what does he say? He says, "Oh, that's gotta hurt," or something like that. And then you see the disembodied, like the hand that was cut off, and he says, "Hey, buddy, need a hand." That's fucking stupid. But he needed the hand to have blood to raise up the second member of his gang, which was a cool sequence. They're in like this abandoned mine, because it's the same mine where they killed Michael Gross's sister. Who, another weird reference. There's a lot of recognizable people in this movie. I'll get to it, but it's the same abandoned mine where they killed the sister, and he cuts the blood on the lawnmower man's hand, and it caused in this big puddle of oil or water or something, and it causes greaser number two to rise, even though they're not greasers. Tony's the only one dressed like the Fonz in this one, and he raises up, and he is like full, red-skinned, horn, slimed tail demon, and he looks fucking awesome until he has to switch into a human. He starts shaking, and they do this. They speed up the camera, and he turns human, and that looks really stupid. They do that 2 or 3 times, like when in the finale, Alexis Arquette looks normal. He's zapped or stabbed or something. He shakes and turns into a demon. That looks stupid. I always hate when they speed up the camera like that. Speaking of the makeup's hit and miss. When the blonde dude came out of the pool and he was in full demon form, looked awesome. When Tony looks like a demon, he looks fucking dumb. I hate the way Tony looks like a demon. I hate when when it's just Alexis with the cat eyes, contact lens. That looks dumb. The other guys, they look more demonic, or at least spooky, than Alexis Arquette looks. So it's hit and miss. And it's really weird. There's like Alexis looks the worst when there is a sex scene between Alexis Arquette and Hilary Swank, and it's a really cool scene because Michael Gross is having either a nightmare or a daydream, and he walks into his daughter's room. Hilary Swank is from the back, but she's naked. You don't see anything, like like she's riding somebody. Obviously, she's having sex, and of course the blanket's like right above her butt, so you can't see anything. You don't see any side boob or anything, but she looks sexy riding it like that. And you're like, wow, what are we getting here? And then suddenly, you see a demon tail wrap around like her lower back and up her shoulder. I'm like, okay, this is getting really weird, but it could be a really cool payoff. And then we see Alexis Arquette in full demon makeup, and he looks like a fucking tard. And it's laughable. It goes from really interesting and hey, this could be a payoff, to really fucking stupid. So the Alexis makeup is bad. I mentioned other notable people here. Like I said, we have Michael Gross from Family Ties and Tremors, Hilary Swank from Everything. We have who else did I mention? The girl from Brady Bunch movies. We have the kid who plays Ham from The Sandlot. He plays in a flashback scene as one of Michael Gross's best friends. We have, like I said, the guy from Needful Things. He plays a priest. I looked on his Wikipedia. He plays a priest and everything. And then Michael Gross's sister is in a TV show that only probably I've ever watched when I was a kid. Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. Search that. It's a really retarded rip off of the Power Rangers, but she was in that, so lots of people I recognized. Anything else worth talking about? Yes, I do like how, if this is a demonic movie or a satanic movie, they got to stop the ritual. I like how they finally make reference to the short story of Sometimes They Come Back. Michael Gross has to cut off a thumb and use his blood to finish the ritual to defeat Alexis Arquette. That is what happened in the original short story. Jim Norman actually had to cut off his thumb and do some type of ritual. So that was a cool callback to the short story. It's an interesting payoff. I thought it was going to be a cool final confrontation. Hilary Swank is like, she's chained up and she's got blood on her face, part of the ritual. And they just repeat what happened in the very beginning, how Michael Gross killed them as a kid. They were electrocuted because they were in that puddle of water, and an electrical wire got in it and they got electrocuted and killed. So what happens? The same fucking thing happens. Their dumb asses walk into the water. Michael Gross has some gloves on, sticks the electrical wire in there, and they're electrocuted with the really bad straight-to-video force lightning effect. And he completes the ritual. The CGI hole into hell opens up, sucks the two guys in, and then Alexis is there, of course, and he suddenly turns all blue, and not like the guy from Watchmen blue, like just blue skin. He looks like blue static from like an old television, when you got the snow effect, and you just see his eyes in his mouth, and he says, "I'll see you later," and he disappears, and it's just really fucking dumb. And of course, there's like an after credits effect where you see that he's back. I have a lot of problems with this movie. I really, really enjoy the first one. Sometimes They Come Back again. As a sequel, it sucks. As its own movie about, satanic rituals and evil Alexis Arquette and Michael Gross, it's okay. The characters do what they have to do. Some suck, some are good, some are over the top. You know what you're getting with a Trimark straight to video. The Trimark is the place that did the Leprechaun movies. The effects are, other than that that hand and the card to the hand and the head, the rest are just kind of eh. That ending sucked. The effects of the end suck. Alexis Arquette looks like a dork, with the makeup on. He looks horrible. Is it worth watching? Sure. Is it worth repeat watching? Not really, even though when I was younger I watched it a lot. Maybe my tastes have changed as I've gotten older. Is it worth one watch? Yeah. Not a lot of repeat value. Don't like the references to the first one because it totally fucks up the references to the first one. So, in the long run, Sometimes They Come Back again. It's okay. I wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't spend money. I didn't have to pay to watch it. I watched it free on Tubi, so I got my money's worth. So, that's it. Whoa, 18 minutes. Talked way too long on this one. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, all that crap. Check out the HORRORman's channel. Participate in the Slashback Saturday Challenge. It is a lot of fun. I've been participating a lot more, thank God, because I've been so busy lately. And I try to participate as much as I can. And I think you should too. And if not, check out Joe's channel. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Comment below. Tell me if you like this movie a hell of a lot more than me. Hate this movie. Alexis Arquette's performance. Michael Gross' performance. The effects. Anything you want to talk about, comment below. Cheers and happy Slashback.